Hi, I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamaniac. Last time, the dynamic duo were stuck in suits of armor and getting crushed into scrap metal in a hydraulic press. As the opening credits finish, we see the crushing machine finish its grisly work. Usually when something catches fire under high pressure like that, it's getting ready to explode. I'd move back if I were you.
Batman, Robin, how did you get in there?
I don't think that'd be my first question. I'd be asking, why the are you still alive? He does finally get around to asking.
It develops 100,000 pounds of pressure.
Fortunately, we were able to reach our utility belts, where we always keep our emergency Bat air pumps to pump up the Batmobile's tires.
The Batmobile's tires require 100,000 pounds of pressure.
You mean you countered the hydraulic pressure with air pressure?
As the crusher increased its pressure, it automatically increased the counter air pressure. We were able to maintain a small safety space inside this scrap metal cocoon.
Somebody is already jumping on this about air tanks that can hold 100,000 pounds when even the best scuba tanks can only hold about 5,000. But that's not what he said. He said air pumps, not air tanks. I hope they're not hand pumps, because getting the tires up to 100,000 pounds with a hand pump would take weeks. Being Batman, I assume they're miniature and atomic powered, but even they can't defy physics. If there was an air pocket in there tight enough that they could fill it with 100,000 pounds of pressure, first their ears would explode, then their lungs would explode when they cut through the metal and suddenly lost pressure. But second, where is an air pump going to get more air to pump in and build the pressure? You don't get higher pressure in a space if you just keep pumping the same air over and over. I know I'm about to set off the overthink alarm, but the episode pretty well lost me right there. I had a hard time suspending disbelief from here on. I don't like it when they do that to me. At Marsha's place, Penguin has his men putting the armor away.
Why do we have to put it in the safe, Pengy? Don't you trust us?
You got any more stupid questions?
No, boss.
All right, then close the door. And lock it, Fink.
There's nothing quite like Burgess Meredith's delivery. Just then, Marsha and Hilda come in with their old toad safely in a cage.
Now, where is that dizzy filly of soul and her dizzier aunt, huh?
I'm not so sure I like being called dizzy, darling.
Always check behind you. Always check behind you.
And I'm not sure I like all those bumpkins cluttering up my nice cave.
Don't they have their own caves to go home to?
And where have you two been all this time?
Out looking for old toads, darling.
Where else would we be? Duh.
You did say you wanted one of Aunt Hilda's potions.
Absolutely essential as a grand finale to our diabolical caper.
Well, I don't know if I'll make it for you, barging in here like a rude gang of rowdies.
She only makes potions for polite gangs of rowdies.
Oh, don't be angry, Aunt Hilda. After all, Penguin has no place else to go.
No, Auntie, you wouldn't want a poor homeless bird thrown out in the street, would you?
You're lucky I'm soft-hearted.
Run along, darling, and make your potion. Pengy and I want to talk.
We finally learn what Penguin's ultimate plot is.
Frankly, Pengy, I don't see why you need Aunt Hilda's love potion to break into the sub-treasury building.
Why? Because those guards are as dangerous as sharks, that's why. There's $10 million worth of gold in that sub-treasury.
The idea is that the love potion will render the guards ineffective so they can get into the vault.
But once we're inside the vault, then what? You need a railroad train to move that gold.
Once we get inside, we'll use the plans I stole from the hexagon.
We still don't know what those plans are, and best I can tell, neither does anybody else, because the Army doesn't catalog what's in Room Z. If it's super duper secret, they just throw it in there and hope somebody else can find it someday when they need it.
Oh, dear. My lizards are gone.
Gone?
They must have escaped, unless those thugs ate them.
That's hardly likely, darling. Are the lizards essential?
Not as essential as the toad, but the potion won't be as strong.
Okay, everybody down on the floor looking for lizards, and no eating.
It has to work. We can't take chances.
Now, don't get yourself in a stew, Pengy. I think I'll give the potion a little help.
How?
You've heard of my famous dance of the 7 veils, haven't you? Well, with my dance and Aunt Hilda's potion, we'll have an unbeatable combination.
At headquarters, we have a small trickle of information.
According to General Magruder, Batman, when the Penguin broke into Room Z at the Hexagon, all he took was some old plans dating from World War II.
You mean with all the top-secret documents in that room, Penguin just took some outdated plans?
That's right. Now, what would he want with them?
Maybe if we know what their plans too, we can figure it out.
Did General Magruder say what plans were taken?
No, those old plans were taken off the inventory list years ago. It'll take the Army many years to check back and find out which ones were stored there.
And yet, Penguin found it with no problems, even though this stuff really is just thrown in there. Maybe Penguin should be running the Army.
And on top of everything else, the police switchboard is flooded with calls about hundreds of lizards running around the Murray Park section of Gotham City.
I can't see calling the police about lizards unless they're 8 feet tall.
Lizards, Chief O'Hara?
That's right, Batman. And weird ones they were, too.
Robin, do lizards ring any bells for you?
Marsha's Aunt Hilda.
I suggest we take a trip to the Murray Park section.
They didn't think to look for Aunt Hilda the minute they knew Marsha was involved and she tried to use a love potion. World's greatest detectives.
Boy, this sure is a boring job. Nothing ever happens around here.
Yeah, it's pretty routine. Who'd ever think of breaking into a sub-treasury? That gold's too heavy to move anywhere.
Setup complete, cue the ironic twist.
You hear anything?
Yeah.
It's a big open room. One of you can turn a little faster than that, yes? The narrator said the gold was being carefully guarded. So carefully, Marsha and Aunt Hilda were able to get all that stuff in there and get set up without any of them noticing. Marsha goes into her dance and they're all instantly mesmerized. Meanwhile, the great Batman lizard hunt is on.
At least 20 people reported seeing lizards come out of this manhole, Batman.
Yes, Robin, and I think we'll find what we want at the other end of it.
You know, those things are modern enough that they have ladders. The rope isn't necessary. It takes them directly down to the cave where one of the goons is trying to open the safe where the armor is.
There's no honor among thieves, Robin.
Batman and Robin, how did you get in here?
Would he even believe us if we said we followed the lizards?
Put the bat cuffs on him, Robin.
Oh, you'll never crack that safe, Batman.
But of course he does.
Oh, the left's on you, Batman. That's nothing compared to the haul he's getting now.
And what's that?
Well, he's... Oh, no, you don't, Batman. I might steal, but I don't squeal. And like the Penguin says, after this caper, Gotham City is gonna be in the soup.
Thank you. You've just told me where Penguin is.
He's holed up in a soup factory. No, in the Batcave, they reasoned that the kind of soup he meant was bullion, as in gold, so he must be at the sub-treasury where the gold is. Is there no end to the awesomeness of Batman logic? In the sub-treasury, Penguin finishes his preparation and calls Marsha to join him.
It's an excellent performance. Your audience is still spellbound.
It's a good thing you finished, darling. I was beginning to run out of veils.
I think that's what he was going for.
And love potion.
Batman! How did that Fink get off the scrap heap?
Never mind that now, darling. We'll be on the scrap heap unless we beat him into the vault.
Penguin and company lock themselves in the vault and Batman assumes they have them. All they have to do is wait for the air to run out and then go in and collect their unconscious forms. They really think Penguin is that stupid. I don't see this ending well.
It's been 6 hours, Batman. How are they breathing inside there?
That's how.
How much longer?
It's gonna take a while yet, Pengy.
It's a big job.
Well, don't worry, we can stay in here as long as we want.
Outside, Batman is finally starting to think this through.
Why, Commissioner? Why did Penguin let us trap him so easily? I'm sure it has something to do with those plans he stole from the Hexagon, whatever they are.
He figures Penguin knows what he's doing, so now the question is, what is he doing in there?
Robin, do you have your bat sound amplifier with you?
Sure, Batman.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess they called it a bat sound amplifier because Adam West didn't want to try to say stethoscope.
Holy stereo, listen to this.
He's playing rock music, the fiend. 3 days later, nothing has happened.
What could that mangy creature be doing in there?
I wish I knew, Chief.
And what's he doing for food?
I wish I knew, Commissioner.
And what's he...
I wish I knew, Robin.
Actually, I wish you knew so you'd quit asking me.
Pass the paprika, dearie. This is the best batch of toad stew I've ever made.
I guess she makes stew out of the parts she doesn't use for the love potion.
Somehow, I don't think the men are too enthusiastic about your cuisine, darling.
I don't see why not. Do you know how much vitamin B there is in the average toad?
No.
Just twice the daily minimum requirement.
Well, what's for dinner tonight? I'm starved, huh? Let me see. Not again. Can't you cook anything else?
She's getting a lot of mileage out of that one toad they caught.
Do you have any idea how much vitamin B there is in the average toad, darling?
Batman and the others head outside to check the building one more time just as the goon announces that they're finished and ready to go.
Listen. What's that noise?
Holy armadillos!
Take cover!
They built the gold into a fully functioning tank, complete with working engine and cannon. Are the cannon shells made of gold too? That's one way to blow your winnings.
A solid gold tank. So, those were the plans Penguin stole from the Hexagon.
Yes, it all makes sense now. He set up his film company to steal the armor from the museum.
Use the armory to steal the plans from the Hexagon.
And use the plans to build a solid gold tank.
This is the house that Jack built.
Chief O'Hara loses his marbles.
What's Chief O'Hara up to? Chief O'Hara! He's blocked the tank.
But he'll be crushed like a walnut.
The brave fool.
At least tell me he has sense enough to get out of the car. I dared to hope. Wow, it crushed a full-size car into several layers of paper.
Chief O'Hara! Quickly, help me with this.
Crushing a car also makes it several thousand pounds lighter.
Watch it, Batman!
How'd he get down there? Never mind, I don't want to know. Batman calls that a brave gesture. I call it the dumbest thing he's done yet. And this is O'Hara, so that's saying something.
How's it feel riding around in $20 million, mind you?
The springs aren't very good, darling.
That's because gold isn't springy, it's squishy.
Springs! Every bolt of this machine is worth a carload of springs. Who's firing that gun?
Must be Aunt Hilda. She loves loud noises.
Stop that! Those shells are solid gold. Every time she fires that cannon costs $50,000.
That answers that question. What's the gunpowder made of? Because gold also doesn't burn.
Oh, let her have some fun, Pinky. After all, you're a millionaire now.
Even a millionaire blinks at $50,000.
Can you picture the scenario if Aunt Hilda and Aunt Harriet ever teamed up? I would watch that show relentlessly. As the Batmobile catches up with the tank, Robin pulls out the Batzooka. We do have a new model for this season, and it even looks something like a bazooka. That thing they called a bazooka in the first season was actually a mortar. We finally fixed that. And clearly, it's effective against tank wheels made of soft gold. Penguin comes out waving a white flag.
It's exasperating.
Oh, be a good loser, darling.
It's your fault. Wasting those golden shells.
Be quiet, dearie, or I'll turn you into a toad. Should I, Batman?
Oh, please say yes.
Thank you. We have other plans for Penguin.
You know, darling, it really is a shame. You and I could have had a marvelous career in movies.
Not so great for him. He'd go broke buying lip balm.
I'm afraid your movie career will be interrupted for quite a while, Marsha.
In the epilogue, we're at Wayne Manor watching Penguin's movie. Wait, he finished it?
Whatever happened to that weird old lady who was related to Marsha?
Aunt Hilda? She's back at her old post teaching a cooking class at the Bruce Wayne School of Home Economics.
Her class on 101 Ways to Cook Toad is especially popular.
She never would have left in the first place if it hadn't been for niece, Marsha.
Looks like the love potion still has a little potency left in it.
You know, Bruce, I think Batman is quite a good actor. Oh my, he's very romantic.
This was a wild ride. We had everything from the sublime, like Marsha doing the Dance of the Seven Veils, to the ridiculous, like O'Hara with the car. He's still making payments on that squad car, by the way. The solid gold tank was an interesting idea, but I can't really buy it unless he brought a bunch of other metals with him to make some strong alloys for things like the engine and suspension. But that's where the willful suspension of disbelief comes in. In this world, you can take a pallet full of gold ingots and turn it into a tank. Just make sure there's nobody around with a bazooka to ruin your day. I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamaniac. Hi, I'm Irving. Good grief. Here we go again. Hi. 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 Okay. Hi, I'm Irving. And good grief. I'm trouble getting off the mark here.